Josh, did I miss the other meeting on the 17th?
Yes.
Well, listen, if I miss a meeting, just email me quickly and say you're missing the meeting because I'll probably get distracted by something else.
Okay, I will.
Do you have my
So,
email address?
um, no, I do not.
Okay, well, make sure that we get it tonight before we leave, okay?
Okay, that sounds good. So we have our three, and so I think we can go ahead with the meeting. Um, so some of the things that I just wanted to talk about was, what is our goal as the DEIB part of our, town? I know we're in like an advisory kind of role, um, but I think we're missing a lot of data on, who actually thinks DEIB is good in the town and who does not.
Gosh, there's someone in the waiting room.
Oh, okay. Let me see here. Hello, welcome to our little meeting. Um, and so, like I was saying, we kind of have to figure out how much is really known about DEI and B in our town before we kind of formulate how we can move forward with it. Now, I know that from watching recordings of past, meetings in the town, there's kind of like this fear of somehow DEI and B, things lead to like this sanctuary city status, and it's not actually correct, like at all. So I don't know where this has like come from. This kind of like this idea that because a town has a DEI and B initiative, how this leads to sanctuary city status, which isn't actually like a formal thing. Like, some cities, big cities, have like declared it, but it's not an official thing. And I do know that, around town, there's a couple of, businesses here and there that last year, there were pride flags out and nobody really felt like it was an issue. The year before that, pride flags were out and it wasn't an issue. This year, I've noticed there's very, very few. And just out of common sense, that kind of tells me like, well, people are unsure, like they're not feeling really safe in our community to be able to express themselves as themselves. And I find that really disturbing. I find that really kind of like shocking that people feel like they need to hide at this time. And so I would like to propose that the goal of the DEIB committee can be to spread awareness amongst our community, and letting them know like it's still okay for you to be yourself. Like, you, despite what's going on in the world right now, you can fly a pride flag on your business and it's not breaking any laws or anything like that. I just really think that people are kind of worried about being retaliated against, you know? And to me, I don't think anybody in the community should feel that way. So maybe spreading awareness through something like a flyer, or we can have some meetings at the library and have some educational like seminars about DEIB and how it is not something that can lead to all of these, mythical boogeymen like sanctuary cities and, other forms of really outlandish stuff. And that is where I think we should start with that is, building materials that promote people's, wellness, not so much telling them, oh, DEIB, you're forced into this or you're forced into that. Just telling people like, look, it's okay that you exist and that is fine. So I talked to a few people around town and just like conversation about DEIB things. And one of the things, so I talked to 4 people, and 3 out of the 4 people said, well, I don't like DEIB. And I asked, well, why? What is it? Like, what is the problem with it? And it's not for white people. That was that was what they said. And I was like, well, why not? Because, inclusion, right? Everybody. And so I feel like people think that somehow it alienates them from, from their community, or makes them feel like less than. So I think in the educational part of what we're trying to do, we should really like drive home and explain, like, hey, this includes everybody in the community. This isn't like a thing where it's broken down into, little groups. Like, there are subgroups, but it doesn't mean like you're excluded. And that's another thing I think is a misconception about DEI practices is, people think that it's exclusionary when it's really not. And so I propose that we start working on something like that. Perhaps we could do like another survey around town and just ask people, what they think about it. Another thing that I've been running across is a lot of people say, well, we have bigger problems and I don't really care. I don't really care about it. We didn't have it back in the 70s, so why does it matter now? But of course, I believe that, it does matter, and it's not something we should let slip away. Because there's a lot of work that's gone into it. It's really good for a lot of people, and I think we should explain that to them.
Josh, have you looked at the surveys that were done when they were doing the study?
I did not. No, I did not look at those.
Okay, a lot of that information is compiled in that survey. So maybe we should spend some time looking at the survey to see what the survey tells us, okay?
Absolutely. Yep, I think that'd be great.
Do you have a copy yet? Do you have
I
a
do
copy?
not have. No, I do not.
You have a copy of the report?
Josh McGraw sent it out a while ago. I don't know if the survey items are in there, but the report that has that, I have it up. If it is helpful, I can share my screen. We can go through it.
Oh yeah, that'd be great.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course. So this is the ordinance about creating the committee, and then the recommendation report to create a permanent DE&I committee from the ad hoc committee in 2021. So there's information about the racial makeup of Bridgewater, which of course is majority white, 82% white. People talking about discrimination in schools and around the community. And so some studies were conducted, local community groups and the BR school district to get information. Let's see. I looked at these a while ago. I'm trying to remember where some of the good summaries are. I think it's in this. Yeah. Yeah, so mostly Bridgewater residents, some Raynham residents responded. It shows some graphs of gender breakdowns between the different samples. So Bridgewater sample, Raynham sample. Sorry, the survey samples at the top. Bridgewater composition next, Raynham composition next. Same idea for race and ethnicity, so relatively representative it looks like, not too bad. And age, and then asking people, have they experienced or witnessed identity-based mistreatment? Most people said yes. How inclusive do you find the Bridgewater Raynham community? Most people said not inclusive. And then for people who shared examples of discrimination, most of them were about race and ethnicity. next, gender identity, sexual orientation. And here's a couple of examples. Looks like we have another person in the waiting room. I'll go ahead and admit them too.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay, you got it. Thank you.
It looks like a lot of these examples are policing based.
Mm-hmm.
And also a lot of examples of things happening at the school. That seems, from my read of this, that seems to be the two most common places where these are happening.
Yeah.
Yeah, school-based experiences. Oh, there's another person in the waiting room. We're popular today.
Yes, yeah, I definitely think that, yeah, moving forward with more like a positive outlook for, DEI and really hitting the inclusivity and the belonging portion is going to be very important going forward. And I think that, really hammering down the inclusivity part and making sure everybody is included, and letting them know, like, hey, you belong in the community, you're a valued part of the community, will actually help our students a lot. So one thing I'd like to work on is I'm going to go ahead and build like a DEIB slideshow, like a PowerPoint presentation. I'll start working on that very shortly. And I think once I have that set up, we can actually move into like an educational kind of format and maybe have like a little meeting, like a town hall, and show people what's exactly going on with those things. But I think that, the inclusivity is going to be the big part of this, and showing people that, hey, you belong here, you're part of this community. And despite, you know, um, the bad stuff in the community, they're still, meaningful in this community and important.
Josh, so would you and Ashley like to do a forum with BCR?
Yes, that I would like to do that. I would enjoy that.
That sounds great.
Okay, so I'll talk with them and see, if they would like to do a DEI forum back in, would you like to say September, October? Is that too early?
When?
I said September, October, when the kids are going back to school and people are back in the city, into the town, when people are coming back into the area.
Oh, yeah, I think October would probably be good.
Okay, I'll present it to them at the meeting and ask them would they like, to sponsor DEIB forum.
Okay.
We have done them in the past. So maybe this is, now that the committee is up and running, maybe we could do one.
Excellent. Yep. I think that'd be great.
And then you'll probably have the slideshow maybe together by that time. Maybe.
Oh, yeah, I'm going to start working on this thing and it'll probably be done in a couple meetings from now.
Okay, so maybe October, we'll ask for an October, DEI forum at the library.
Yeah, that'd be good.
That's what we usually do it at the library.
Okay. Yeah, I think that'd be great.
Okay, Ashley?
Sounds great. Let's do it.
Okay.
All right. So I guess I will motion to adjourn this meeting. So do we have anything else that we'd like to discuss?
Nope. As soon as I get a confirmation from BCCR, we're meeting on the 13th. We're meeting on the 13th of July. We're having just a social time. Maybe one of you would like to join us to talk about that, would you?
Sure. Yeah.
And we can talk about that. Okay. I'll approach them, ask them if I can invite you to come on the 13th to talk about it.
Okay, great. And you guys will have my email address, and so we can contact that way.
Right.
Awesome. Good. Do we want to set our next meeting date before we log off?
Yes. I think we should. How do you guys feel about the 9th of next month.
I can do that.
Yeah, like Wednesday at like 7.
Should we stick with the 6 o'clock?
Oh, sure. Yeah, we can do that. No
Yeah,
problem.
because then Josh,
Yep.
the other Josh can be here.
Okay, excellent. Okay,
All right.
so everybody good with ending this meeting where we are?
I am.
Yes.
Okay, great.